to be back here at Ford Field, and this has a little more buzz than a regular preseason game, doesn't it? It's got
just first time we've been here since the Bucs game.
It's incredible.
And they're saying sold out.
Yeah, it's incredible. And there's going to be a lot of new faces on the field, and one thing the Lions wanted to do in the offseason certainly was fortify that defense. They went and they got a guy in March by the name of DJ Reader. He signed a 2-year deal here in Detroit, and at 6'3", 335 pounds, he's certainly an imposing force in the middle of that Lions defensive front, but he also has a heart to match.
I'll do it.
It's part of his DNA, and
for the Lions, they are expecting to activate him off of the PUP next week, so they will have him back seemingly for the season opener. One other thing about Reader, he comes from a long line of educators, and he told us that if he weren't playing football, he would be a teacher. And he's got resource rooms in Cincinnati, still in Houston. And
weeks ago, I think they're done with James Houston trying to stand him up as a Sam linebacker and just let him try to be a pass rusher. So hopefully he can make a difference today. And look, you got to be a guy that shows up.
For many of these guys to make their case to be on the roster, and you'll see it right here on Fox 2. Back with more after this.
And welcome back. Certainly for this rookie class, there are a lot of jobs on the line today. For a guy like Sione Vaki, the 132nd pick overall, he has shown some things during training camp and the first 2 preseason games. 10 for 51 rushing through 2 games. Also, he had 4 catches on 4 targets for 60 yards against KC. But he has also caught his teammates and coaches' eyes off the field as well with his incredible rookie performance and his voice.
I don't know if it's the best performance, but as far as the best voice that I've heard, probably. It was pretty phenomenal. It really is. So maybe he'll sing for you guys.
That really was incredible. I mean, he has a beautiful voice. Of course, that song from, I think it was 1989, Lean on Me. Did you have a rookie performance that you remember?
No, not that I can remember. We were nice in Green Bay. We didn't make our rookies do anything.
No rookie hazing.
I'm surprised he sang for you guys on camera.
I love that he did that. You know what? That just shows his confidence and his comfort. He has certainly shown that same kind of comfort and confidence on the field. How much do you think he has changed maybe the minds of Ben Johnson and Dan Campbell as far as what he can do? I mean, catching the football, I think, is going to be his greatest weapon.
Yeah, I think so, too. And look, that's a competition still for running back number 3. Craig Reynolds was a guy got a lot of playing time last year. I think Sione Vaki is going to make it tough on who they want to keep. We know the Lions like keeping their running backs, right? They run the ball a lot. I think he's got a lot of same traits as David Montgomery. He's shifty, again, with the first couple games as well.
Yeah, and he is a great guy, and I know that always doesn't count for much, but when you see the way that he is willing to do anything and everything, we've heard a lot of players say that, and that'll get you a lot of places, especially on special teams. All right, one more break before we get you set for the Steelers and the Lions. Stick around. We'll be right back. Coming up on Fox 2, getting you ready for the Lions' final preseason game here at Ford Field. Back, Ed, you said here with our final thoughts. TJ, we were just looking around. This building is packed. I mean, it really is impressive. It speaks to what people feel about this Lions team, because once upon a time in the preseason, it used to be really quiet here.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's still a preseason game. We're not trying to hype it up, but it is packed. There's a lot of people just hungry to come watch the football team for the first time since the Tampa Bay game last year, and you never know what could happen.
All right, for TJ Lang, Dan Miller, I'm Jennifer Hammond. Stay tuned for the broadcast now with Jason Ross, Golden Tate, and Danny Rogers. We'll see you on the postgame show right here on Fox.
I do know that. All right, and Nate right now has the upper hand because he's played more. He's been in it more. He's seen it more. He just, and so with that, that would tell you there's a good chance you could keep 3, you know?
The keys to the game are going to be leave it all on the field. And lastly, I'm looking for a bigger body receiver to step up. Fountain, please show up this game. We need you.
Big day for a lot of guys.
A little bit of anxiety and sense of urgency as he makes his first NFL start today. Campbell told me there is a different buzz in the air when you know it's your show. Hooker has to prove that he can command the huddle by having the trust of every single one of his teammates. That means he needs to know his job and everyone else's job. That's what makes the QB position so difficult. I mean, every time.
Thanks, Danny. He looks calm. 12 of 15, 150 yards passing last week and a rushing touchdown against Kansas City. He was as clutch as you could have possibly been in that matchup. Dan Campbell loved the different situational aspects he had to go through. Speaking of Hendon Hooker, in that matchup against Kansas City that ended with a game-winning Jake Bates field goal. So now coming up, the dynamic kickoff. Final one to see that we'll see to open up the preseason in this third preseason game. Jake Bates will kick it off. He wears that number 43. We're talking to special teams coordinator Dave Fitterbottom down in the field. He just has the intangibles, has what you can't coach, has the big legs. So again, these teams line up 5 yards apart from each other, 45, 40, and 35-yard line. The landing zone between the goal line and the 20-yard line. Nobody can move until the ball is caught or it hits the ground. New touchback takes it out to the 30. We'll continue to delve into those yardage repercussions as the game goes along. And off we go in the final preseason dynamic kickoff to open this one up. And we get an early flag. So Steelers will start at the 40-yard line. Russell Wilson gets the start. And Golden, you won a Super Bowl with Russell Wilson in your Seattle days with Justin Fields. And Russell Wilson facing some pressure, flips it out to George Pickens, who slipped the initial tackle, then got up the sideline. Might have enough for a first down here. Looks like a gain of 7. Essang Bassey made the tackle there. Player who was signed last week.
He is down, in fact.
After further communication with the replay officials, the runner was down at the 39-yard line. The third down.
So quick review there, and then that'll negate the first.
And you are down. So turns out a great tackle by Brandon Joseph.
Brandon Joseph's the guy going for that fourth safety spot. Third down coming up. Wilson with a good pocket, wants Pickens again and has him again down to the 30. So a big chunk play on 3rd and long there as Pickens beat Bassey. Gain of 31.
Ones.
And similar situation to last week where you're going up against a QB who has started a ton of games. You saw Patrick Mahomes early in that Kansas City game. And Carson Wentz as well, a guy who started 93 games in his career. Russell Wilson started a bunch of games. They handed off to Patterson there, and he was met promptly. Pascal had a great game a week ago against Kansas City. He jumps in to make the tackle there. Speaking of this defense, let's take a look at the starting lineups presented by Ford. So Josh Pascal's really the guy who jumped out a week ago along that front. Had a sack, had a clutch forced fumble that Abraham Beauplan recovered. So as well, trying to step up against what could be Russell Wilson in the first half and Justin Fields in the second half.
We're going to need to get some pressure on Russell Wilson. The more time you give him back there, the easier you make it to pick him off.
Hole opens up the middle here for Patterson, and he'll waltz right into the end zone, 30 yards, 30 quick yards on the opening drive for the Steelers.
Lions fans not happy about that drive, understandably so. Patterson's been one of the most explosive guys in the league for a while. He's kind of found his knack at being in the receiver.
The Lions had the number 2 rushing defense in the NFL a season ago. Of course, not seeing the starters that will be a part of that front in 15 days when they do it in prime time for real against the quick opening drive for the Steelers that results in 6.